Level 1. The Picciotto, the errand boy. You're 14 years old, living in the Zen district of Palermo. In this neighborhood, the government is a ghost, but the family is everywhere. You spend your days sitting on a plastic chair outside a cafe, a phone in your hand, and a bottle of soda that's been warm for hours. You are a Picciotto, but the older guys call you a bottle, a lookout. Your job is simple. Watch the road. If you see the blue and white cars of the Policia or a black SUV that doesn't belong, you send a single emoji. You make zero money. You're being tested for the most important trait in Sicily, omertà, the code of silence. If a teacher or a cop asks why you're not in school, you look through them as if they don't exist. You're waiting for the day they give you a job that matters. Level 2. The associate, the blood debt. You're 18. Your father's small business is drowning in debt, and he's on the verge of a collapse. A man in a tailored suit, someone who owns the street without saying a word, hands your father a thick envelope of cash. It looks like charity, but you know better. This is a perfectly set trap. 2 weeks later, the man returns. The money wasn't a gift, it was a loan. And now service is due. You are now an associate. You move crates that clink with glass or smell like chemicals into unmarked warehouses. You drive clean cars across the island, your heart trying to punch through your ribs every time you see a checkpoint. You're learning how respect flows upward through invisible channels, and you're the very bottom of the stream. Level 3. The initiation, the made man. You've proven you can keep your mouth shut during an arrest. You're led blindfolded through narrow side streets to a quiet farmhouse in the hills. Inside, 13 senior members stand in a circle around an altar. This is the ceremony. They prick your trigger finger, and your blood drips onto a paper image of a saint. As they set the paper on fire, you cup it in your hands, swearing that if you betray your brothers, your flesh will burn like this saint. There is no resignation or retirement. You are now a made man. You are part of a brotherhood where the only exit is a coffin or a cage. Level 4. The soldado, the street soldier. You're 22. Your job is the piso, the protection tax. You go door to door, collecting envelopes from pharmacies and butcher shops. Most pay without a word, but when a restaurant owner claims business is slow, you don't argue. You return at night with a metal baton and smash every window to remind them of the rules. You're making $1,500 a week now. You buy your mother a villa and tell her you have a construction job. She doesn't believe you, but she doesn't ask questions because the bills are finally being paid. You have status now, but you're a verified target for the FBI. Level 5. The sicario, the specialist. The dragon head or the family boss gives you a photo and an address. Your job is no longer logistics, it's wet work. The first hit is the hardest, not because of the guilt, but because your hands won't stop shaking. By the third, you feel nothing. You wait on a motorcycle, helmet hiding your face, and pull up beside a man leaving a bodega. 2 shots and you're gone before he hits the ground. You realize that in this world, being good at something is the only thing that keeps you from being discarded. You hand over the gun to be melted down, and you go home to a silent dinner. Level 6. The capodesina, the crew boss. You're 30. You run a cell of 10 soldiers. You're a manager now, balancing fear and mercy. You collect the money from your soldiers, take your cut, and kick the rest up the chain. You're responsible for the discipline of your men. If one gets sloppy or starts using the product, you're the one who has to correct them. If a rival crew moves into your territory, you respond with violence without waiting for orders. You're making $50,000 a month, but you're managing chaos. Level 7. The consigliere, the white paper man. You're 35. You move from the streets to the boardrooms. You run the legitimate side, construction companies and restaurants that act as washing machines for dirty money. You manage the books, ensuring that a noodle shop seating 20 people reports serving 300 phantom customers a day to record legitimate income. You're an administrator, wearing tailored suits and eating at expensive restaurants. You look like a businessman, but the Organized Crime Bureau is building a RICO case against you brick by brick. You're the strategist, planning expansions into cybercrime because it's cleaner than drugs. Level 8. De Soto Capo, the underboss. You're the bridge between the street and the shadows. You manage the supply chain and negotiate with other organizations, Russian Bratva, Mexican cartels, and the triads. You resolve disputes between your own soldiers before they attract the iron fist of the police. You're pulling in $20,000 to $50,000 a week, but you trust no one completely, not even your own brother. The pressure is crushing because every major failure in the organization is now your failure. Level 9. The Representante, the family boss. You run the plaza, the entire city. Every murder and every bribe goes through you. You have hundreds of men under your command and generate millions, but you've become a ghost. You haven't been photographed in a decade. You live in a compound with 20-foot walls and guard towers, watching the world through surveillance monitors. You have everything you could want, but you can't even attend your own daughter's wedding because the snipers are waiting outside the gates. Level 10. The Commissione, the cupola. You sit at the head of the table, deciding the fate of the entire island. You negotiate directly with government officials and generals. You divide territory like a corporate merger to prevent wars that hurt the bottom line. You realize you're no longer a criminal. You're a predator in a suit. You have the power to greenlight anyone, but you're also responsible for the legal fees of every soldier who gets caught. Your word is law, but your life is a golden cage. Level 11. The latitante, the fugitive. The state has declared war. You relocate to a bunker or a hideout in the hills. You're too high profile to exist in the sun. You watch your empire crumble on a small television in a concrete room. You're the most powerful man in the region, yet you're a prisoner of the life you chose. You live in isolation, wondering which of your brothers will be the one to flip and testify in front of news cameras. Level 12. The Reckoning. The 41 bis isolation. The raid happens at dawn. 50 officers surround your home and cuff you in front of news cameras. The trial is a parade of pentitis, men who once swore the 36 oaths but have now flipped to save themselves. You're sentenced to life under 41 bis, total isolation. You sit in a concrete cell 23 hours a day. You saved your father's life 30 years ago with blood money, but you destroyed your own life to do it. You have nothing but the ghosts of everyone you hurt to keep you company. The latter was always resting on corpses, and in the end, all that's left is the debt you can never repay.